Do you face difficulties to present your ideas in your meetings? And even if you present your ideas get ignored. Why? Well, let's consider the situation. There are two people in the meeting. One is presenting the idea using the simple language, the normal words, and the other one is presenting the same idea using some powerful words. Now, definitely, you can figure out that the second person who uses powerful words in his sentences is something very impressive, and that really matters a lot. If you are someone who is facing this issue, then make sure that you need to watch this video and understand how you can focus on improving yourself in simple and step by step manner by understanding one important change, and that is nothing but the choice of words to improve your sentence formation. Let's look at these things and let's understand how you can improve yourself. Most of the time people face difficulties in terms of improving their English communication because of these issues. So ultimately, when you feel that you are being ignored, then you have to take care of how you create your impact on people, whether you are creating the positive branding or whether you are going ahead with the negative branding. Now let's understand. Now onwards, you don't have to feel ignored whenever it comes to your English communication. After watching this video, you will get better perspective that how you present your ideas confidently without getting ignored. And that's where we have to remove this particular point of getting ignored. Now let's understand all of these things in simple and step-by-step manner. See, I have mentioned one interesting line. I'm reading this for you. I want you to understand. See, the problem is not about your ideas being ignored in terms of your idea. Your idea is brilliant, there is no doubt about it. But the words which you use in terms of presenting it, that really matters a lot. And let's figure out how we can work on that. So, here I'm going to give you some clarity about understanding how we can use these phrases in terms of improving yourself. See, many people say that I think, instead of that, simply change it to recommend. So now you need to understand that if you change the verb part in your sentence, you will be able to focus on better clarity about it. And most of the time, when we give suggestions, we use should as a basic model verb and we combine it with V1 form of the main verb. And that's how you can simply change your thought process. Instead of simply saying, I think this may work or something like that, just go ahead with, I recommend. The moment you say this, I recommend, by giving more stress on this particular verb, you change your tonality and you also create that impression. So note down this and understand that you can use it in the next meeting while presenting your idea. Let's go ahead and understand the second one. Here, you can simply consider that most of the people, when it comes to apology, they simply say, sorry to bother you. Now, instead of that, if you wish to ask the question, see, this is yes no type question. I'll explain you why yes no type question is important. The moment we go ahead with this yes no type question, the purpose of yes no type question is to get some kind of confirmation. So here you are simply focusing on confirmation, not by just saying sorry, but simply going with, is now a good time for a quick question. Or you can also write it down in a better way, like, is this, and continue this. Is this a good time? Is this a good time for a quick question? Or may I ask you a quick question? This is also one interesting thing. You can note it down that every time you go ahead with may I ask a quick question, it becomes a part of your polite way of getting that permission. That's something very important. So next time, instead of simply saying, sorry to bother you, I want to ask you one question. No, simply go ahead with your polite tone. May I ask you one question, please? Or is this a good time so that I can ask you my question? See, everything is there in your mind, but somewhere down the line, you do not go in that way or in that direction to make sure that you create impact on those people. So focus on this thing, which is very important thing. The second important thing here, if you haven't noted it down, I would like to note it down this one as well. Simply you can pause the video and take your notes and apply this in your real life conversation. Let's go ahead and understand the third one. What is this third point talking about? Instead of saying this might be a stupid question, see the use of these kind of words. is not right thing in our professional conversation. This may indicate that your approach towards this particular conversation is little bit rude. So instead of using these negative words, try to focus on positive words. Simply understand this thing. Could you please clarify for me? Here, if I add the simple word please, this becomes even more polite. If I simply say that, could you please clarify for me? Could you please give me better clarification? Do you have better alternatives? You can simply go ahead and understand this thing. So remember, when you start something using could you and then V1 form, this is nothing but a form of a request. Now, when you get confused about the vocabulary part, remember that you use this particular sentence formation, which helps you understand in a better kind of way. So could and then you, because you are making request to the second person and we use V1 form of the verb. This is nothing but the basic model verb that you are using here. Just understand this particular point. This is called as basic model auxiliary verb. That is nothing but could that you are using. And that's how you are going ahead with this simple thing. Okay. You could use this last time in your meeting, but you are not aware about all these things. That's why you could not use it. See, I'm talking to you using simple things, very basic things, which is very important. And if you master these fundamental things, everything will fall in place, which is the most important thing. So this is your third point that you need to understand. Now let's focus on the fourth one. If you simply say I will try to get it done, it means that this is vague. This is not clear that you are talking about. Vague means unclear. This is not a solid promise that you are going. But instead of that, when you just go ahead, I will have it done, or I will get it done by the specific date and time, here you are talking about a solid promise. This becomes definite promise. This become a specific promise that you are providing. So whenever you talk in terms of specific things, this becomes impressive, because ultimately when you say I will try to get it done, definitely the person will come up with the next question, and that next question is nothing but when. Or the person might lose interest in that conversation, or the person might think that your credibility is not this much, or you're not that much intellectual, or you are not that much technically sound, that you are not giving a specific date and time. But the moment you provide a specific date and time, I will have it done by 6th of November, 12 p.m. You will get my confirmation, or whatever it may be. Instead of this, if you are not sure about it, you can also use it using the word update. By 6th November, simply provide a date. If you wish to go ahead with 12 p.m. today, you can also mention about it. So make sure that you give them clarity. When you get clarity in your conversation, everything falls in place. So remember the fourth point, that we don't have to just focus on doing these kind of things. We should provide a specific date and time when it comes to that particular clarity. And this is very useful in your email writing also, right? Let's say you are in the position where someone is telling, I will try to get it done. Now the person is telling over this particular email that, dear sir or madam, I will try to get it done. When you just mention in that particular manner, what exactly happens? You simply understand that the person is not that much interested, or the person is saying, I will try to get it done, or something like that. But the beautiful part is when you mention, dear sir, I will definitely get it done by 6th of November, 12 p.m. or something, whatever you just mentioned. Now the person gets clarity. Wow, I got confirmation. So next time I'll just be assured that my work will get done. That's the most important thing. Now, let's go ahead and understand the fifth point, where you will be able to just understand this in simple kind of way. See, fifth one is nothing but, does that make sense to you? Now, you can simply consider like, does that make sense to you? You can add this particular additional part as well. Instead of that, if you simply go ahead, this becomes your normal kind of conversation. What do you feel? What do you think about it? Instead of that, when you just go ahead with that, what are your thoughts on this particular concern? When you just go ahead with this thing, You automatically focus on getting the clarity, or this becomes a part of brainstorming. Understand this particular thing. This becomes the part of your brainstorming process. And when it comes to your meetings, and when you focus on this brainstorming activity, it helps to add that little energy in the discussion. You also give importance to that particular person when it comes to use of this particular pronoun your. This is also very important. So whenever you use these particular words, you are also giving importance to other people in the meeting. Now it depends. If you are talking to a single person, you are giving importance to that person, or if you are talking to many people in the meeting, you are giving importance to that particular group, right? So focus on understanding. When you just say, does that make sense? That's not really impressive. But instead of that, what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about it? You can simply go ahead, and this becomes a process of brainstorming. Remember this. Next, whenever we say, like, I'm not the expert, but it means that you are attracting that negative approach towards you. Don't say that I'm not the expert, but instead of that, whatever experience that you have, you can just use it. You can leverage it for a better communication. You can simply go ahead with, based on my overall experience, or you can simply say, based on my experience, I believe. You can simply continue this conversation. Okay. If you simply say, I'm not the expert, but I will just go ahead with that. Now, when it comes to ifs and buts, that's not the right thing. That you are just going ahead with, you are throwing stones in the air. This might be possible that, no, it's not like that. But when it comes to, based on my experience, you come up with a solid point that you can present. And that is very important thing. When you say about this experience kind of thing, it represents that your technical knowledge is really good, which is very important thing. You are showcasing your technical knowledge, which is very important thing, right? So next time, whenever you simply say that, if someone is asking you any kind of opinion, to provide your opinion, you have to focus on not saying I'm not the expert, but I'll try it. But you have to focus on, based on my experience, I would like to recommend this thing. I believe we can go ahead with this thing, or something like that. Okay. Now, seventh one, let's go ahead and understand this particular thing. When it comes to this one, let's say the situation, like, you have stated your opinion, and now you are just coming up with the first response. It's just my opinion, I'm not sure about it, but I just would like to tell you something. This becomes again unclear, not specific. But instead of simply saying opinion, if you replace this particular word by this particular quality word, that is nothing but perspective, people look at you and understand that yes, the person has better knowledge about it. So look at it. The moment you change this particular simple word opinion by perspective, how confident it looks like, how impressive it looks like. Like, just imagine right now, you are in the meeting and you have presented one point. We should consider this particular part in the technical aspect, or considering the technical issue. And now the person is telling, how do you say that? And now you are telling, it's just my opinion, I'm not even sure about it. But if you say, my perspective is, we can go ahead with this thing and this will work in this way, or whatever, you just continue your thought process. Like, see, you have everything in your mind, but because of these things, you're not presenting in a better way. That's what the most important thing is. So in the comment section, I would like to know, out of all these phrases you are learning, all these sentences you are learning, which one you liked the most. And that's very important thing. That's how you will be able to write down your own notes in the comments, which will not help only you, but it will also help every other person who is watching this video. You will help that person to understand what you liked from all these sentences and phrases. Okay. So remember, it's all about changing the common word opinion to perspective whenever you respond to people in your meetings, which is the most important thing. So when you change your words, you simply focus on understanding that you create impression on people, which is the most important thing. That's how you will get this particular clarity. Okay. Now let's go ahead and understand couple of things, last three phrases and sentences. If you just go ahead, that if you want to just initiate the conversation and you're going ahead with, I hope you don't mind extending the deadline. If you're saying in this particular way, I hope you don't mind extending the ideas or extending the project deadline or something like that. See, when you use negative words, this itself creates negative impact. But instead of that, if you simply come up with the positive idea, I would like to suggest you are coming up with additional support. Understand this thing. Why you need to say this thing? It gives additional support and perspective to your colleague or the person who is involved in that particular discussion, which is the most important thing. Instead of suggest, if you simply use recommend, then this will also create better impact. Are you able to see that we are revolving around the same words again and again, because these are considered as powerful verbs when you just go ahead with that, right? So make sure that you note down and you try to use them as it is. You don't have to worry about it. You just have to repeat them certain times. This will become your automated thought process, which is the most important thing. Now let's quickly wrap up this video by understanding two more phrases and sentences where you'll get clarity about. Now, if I simply tell you that I'm not sure if this is right. Again, are you able to see that this is nothing but your vague idea? This is not so sure. This is unclear. Vague means this is unclear. You are not so clear about it. So, here, what you need to do is when it comes to words like analysis, you get clarity about it. And whenever you just come up with initial thought process to get started with this particular thing, you can simply go ahead with this thing. In terms of your technical discussion or when it comes to your corporate conversation, why it is considered that you should be able to focus on words like this? Because your corporate communication matters a lot in terms of creating impact on people, which is very important thing. And when you create impact on people, it really matters a lot that your choice of words is very important. That's why it is considered as corporate communication. When you talk to your friends in general conversation, that's your casual conversation. But when you present the same thing globally, when you just try to communicate with people at your workplace with these kind of sentences, words, and phrases, it really creates that impact. That's how your ideas are always listened carefully and not ignored all the time. Let's focus on the last one and you'll get better clarity about it. Now, instead of simply saying, let me know what you think, look at it. We have learned one interesting phrase. Let me know what are your thoughts on this. You can also say that particular thing. Or you can simply go ahead like, when you just come up with this thing, let me know is very common. You can go ahead with that. But when you simply replace this what you think by I look forward to your feedback. Now I told you something important, that we have a general word that is nothing but opinion. We can replace this by the new word that is nothing but perspective. This is very important thing. I look forward to your feedback. I look forward for your perspective. Instead of simply using opinion, that's the most important thing. Now, if you just go through all these 10 phrases that we have discussed, let's understand what you can simply learn about some words. Let me just tell you by highlighting couple of things. Okay. Now, here, what is the interesting verb that we found? Recommend. We use it many times. Instead of suggesting, you can use recommend. Okay, we understood that should is used for suggestion. Now when it comes to sorry to bother you or something like that, we simply take yes no type question in consideration, so that we will be able to focus on taking confirmation of all of these things. You can simply say, is this a good time or something like that. You can simply say, is this the right time to just go ahead with that? Or you can also use a better permission where you will just use may I, and then you can use this v1 form and you will continue your question. Okay, this is not a question, this is a permission that you can simply go ahead with that. Again, when you just say words like stupid and all of the stuff, this might look like you are going in the rude manner, we don't have to use that thing. Instead of that, focus on just giving better clarity. You can also use this particular word, that is nothing but please. This will add extra politeness in your conversation. Again, could you plus v1 is nothing but a polite request that we simply focus on, and here we use v1 form of the verb so that we come under the structure of basic model verb, which is the most important thing. Now, when you just say that I'll try to get it done or something like that, do not go into vague direction. Don't make it unclear, make it specific. That's the clarity that we need to bring when it comes to our real life conversation. That's the most important thing. And what important point that we noted, date and time is very important. Okay, along with this particular thing, when we say stop saying, simply going ahead with does that make sense to you or something like that. Instead of that, we can come up with what are your thoughts on it. Thoughts, we go ahead with that. And what happens? We focus on brainstorming all the ideas in the conversation. So we understood that thoughts, opinions, perspective, feedback, all these things are very important. So opinion is a very common word that you use. Instead of that, I recommend that, again, see, it is coming to me automatically while watching this video only. So this is a solid proof that I can give you, that when you listen and when you observe people using the quality words, you automatically focus on using them because your subconscious mind can pick up them and focus on applying it in your real life conversation. Okay, now sixth, instead of simply putting your opinion here, you can simply go ahead with perspective. We discuss the same thing here, so I'm just highlighting the words. Opinion is general word, perspective is a better word. If you are giving a feedback, you can simply go ahead with that. Along with that particular stuff, you can simply go ahead with giving suggestions. We have understood the word recommendation, which is very important thing. Then the ninth one, again, this is unclear, so you have to avoid using this unclear communication. The more clarity you bring in your communication, people will start remembering that lady or that person, that gentleman is someone who says everything clearly to the point. No additional thoughts or something like that. No unnecessary discussion. The person comes to the point directly, and that's how you bring your productivity in boost. That's the most important thing. Okay, now last one, we understood the same kind of thing. I guess this was a quick revision of the entire video for you. So make sure that you simply go ahead with using different things. So when it comes to simply feedback, if you wish to get the perspective, you can get it. If you wish to use the opinion, you can also go ahead with that. Let me know in the comment box, what did you love about this particular video? What are the new words you learned? And along with that particular stuff, which were the most common sentences and the phrases you found throughout this video? And also make sure that you like this video, share with your friends who are into corporate communication and all of the stuff, and also subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon. Next time, whenever you will get my videos like this, you can watch them in just 10-15 minutes and you will be able to learn something amazing, because that's the most important thing. And if you feel like watching this video again, watch this video again. I'm not asking for extra watch time that I'll get from YouTube, but I'm telling you the scientific approach towards improving ourselves. Because when we repeat the right things in our life, right things start happening. That is the most important thing. It's all about the game of repetition, of repeating the right things, where we can build a wonderful skill. Make sure that you watch it again and share with your friends and family members. Subscribe the channel, like this video, and hit the bell icon.